Hello, I'm Lance Zimmerman with the CattleFax closing bell. Weekly beef slaughter at recording time was up 5,000 head compared to last week, and larger week-over-week volumes are expected going into June. Positive packer margins and an increase in out-front beef sales are two of the main reasons CattleFax expects to see beef slaughter increase. Estimated packer margins are more than $40 per head this week. That's mostly steady with the 10-year average, and $40 higher than the same week last year. A per head profit of $40 might not seem like much. However, packers have lost more than $40 per head on fed cattle slaughtered in 2012. Margins during this same period over the last 10 years have been closer to $7 per head. Packers have become more aggressive at selling beef as the margins increased. The combined volume of spot market, formula, forward contract, and other out-front beef sales has been considerably stronger than fed beef production lately. Box beef sales volumes have been 24% higher than the previous week's fed cattle slaughter over the last 4 weeks. With about 70% of all wholesale beef sales occurring outside of the weekly spot market, it's not a surprise to see beef sales higher than production. However, the previous 5-year high had beef sales 18% higher than production over this same 4-week period. The majority of these out-front sales are likely going to reach the retail and food service sectors from Memorial Day to the 4th of July. That means packers will need to increase slaughter levels in the coming weeks to fill those orders. The increase in fed cattle slaughter will be welcome news to a feedlot sector that will face a steadily increasing supply of market-ready cattle from now into July. Sales volumes in the fed cattle market were moderate at best at recording time, with prices mostly $1 higher this week. In the north, cattle traded $191 to $195 per hundredweight on a dressed basis, and $120 to $121 at a live weight. Trade in the south was starting to develop at $120 per hundredweight. Feeder cattle prices were $2 to $3 lower this week, and calves were valued $3 to $8 per hundredweight softer. Slaughter cows were steady to as much as $4 higher, reflecting strong lean trimming demand. Wholesale beef values were mostly steady for the week, and sales volumes were light to moderate. Demand remained sluggish as production levels began to increase. Corn prices firmed this week as export sales remained active. Looking ahead, fed cattle prices will continue to face significant risk in the cash market. Heavier carcass weights and higher import volumes will continue to work against stronger fed cattle supplies. Supplies will increase into July, and the wholesale beef market is expected to be weaker next week. Fundamentals suggest that lower prices are likely next week, with trade developing in the south around $118 to $120. Feeder cattle and calf prices have been weaker in recent weeks, and that trend's likely to continue next week. Growing losses in the feedlot sector will continue to weaken demand for eligible replacements as buyers reduce purchase prices. Also, firmer corn prices and steady to weaker live cattle fundamentals leave most break-even prices on feeder cattle well below current auction prices. Advances in the wholesale beef market moved slow this week as buyers continue to focus on downstream demand. Continued price increases are unlikely as the peak in wholesale demand has likely passed for the spring. Expect choice boxes to sell from $188 to $191 per hundredweight next week, with select boxes trading at about $4 to $5 less. Corn prices continue to adjust to export sales and planting progress news this spring. Spot prices will continue to find support at $6.15 per bushel, with resistance around $6.70 per bushel in the near term. Thanks for watching, and remember to visit CattleFax.com to become a member and receive the latest market news and analysis.
The beef business has never been for the faint of heart. For more than 40 years, CattleFax has led the way. We're the time-proven leader in research, analysis, and information, equipped with the industry's most powerful database. Become a member at CattleFax.com.